already completed the HTML and CSS part of our portfolio website. Today we'll work on the JavaScript part. Now, my friend Kundan will teach you why JavaScript is such an essential part of our web development and will also incorporate JavaScript on our website. Also, later he will teach you how to host our website for free on Github Pages so that others can view our website from anywhere with just a click. Over to you, Kundan.
Thank you, Hritvikk. So, hello guys, this is Kundav Surve, the technical core member at Gdsc Mescoe. So yeah, as Hritvikk said, what we are going to have is today JavaScript. So basically today what we are going to have is the first intro to JavaScript, and then we will learn the basics of JavaScript, and then later on we will learn about HTML DOM, and at last what we are going to do is host our website, that is portfolio, which was developed by Param and Shreyash yesterday. So yeah, so let's start it without any further introduction. Okay, so what we have is the very basic question, that is, what is JavaScript? Now, JavaScript is a scripting language. So what does a scripting language means? It is a programming language only, but what the thing is, the code is interpreted at the runtime. Okay, so yeah, that's what a scripting language is. And the second point is that JavaScript allows you to implement complex features on web. So yeah, this is one of the important role of JavaScript in web development. So yeah, we can make the website very interactive to the user, so that user can interact with our website in a large extent. Okay, so yeah, and the third point is that it can be used for client-side server development as well as development-side server. So yeah, this is one of the important role which JavaScript plays. So before starting ahead, what the thing is, JavaScript is a language which can be run on browser, because browser provides a JavaScript runtime environment, that is a JavaScript engine, and JavaScript can be run on Node as well. But due to time constraint, we cannot go for the installation of Node.js. So yeah, we will run all the JavaScript functions or any basic concepts on browser itself. So let's start with a very basic program, that is hello world program. So in JavaScript, there is to print a hello world, what we have is the only one statement, that is only one function, that is known as console.log. So yeah, that's a basic thing that we have to use each and everywhere, that is printing statement. So to print the hello world, what we use is only console.log. So we don't have to include any libraries or anything, not required. So yeah, by using this function, you can print variables, strings, arrays, and etc. So yeah, so let's try it. So today what we are going to run all the statements on our browser. To run all the statements on browser, so what you have to do is open your browser or Chrome and just press Ctrl+Shift+I. So what you will get here is the console. Okay, so as you can see here, what you have got is the console. Now if you're not able to see any console here, so you can navigate here to console. Okay, and after that, what you have to just clear this console. Okay, so yeah, now let's start with a very basic thing, that is printing hello world. So yeah, I can type here as console.log hello world. So yeah, what we got is the hello world string printed. So yeah, first of all, neglect this, because console.log is not returning anything. That's why it's returning us a undefined thing. So yeah, so neglect this thing. What we have got is the hello world only. So yeah, this is how we print the statements. So we can print anything. We can print a number here as well, like let it be 10. So if I enter this, so yeah, what we got is the 10 value. Okay, so yeah, that's a basic thing. Now what we have is the further variables and data types in JavaScript. Okay, so variables, what are the variables? So in basic thing, variables are something that are used to store any values or anything. So variables are used to store anything, and we can perform functions or anything on that variables. Okay, so variables are of different data types. Okay, so yeah, different data types means it can be anything, it can be int and all those things. So basically data types are divided into two divisions, that is primitive data types and the other one is the non-primitive data types. So as you can see here, what we have is the primitive data type. So in primitive data type, there are four types, that are string, number, boolean, and the undefined. So let's take an example of a string. So string is an any valid string. So it can be a character, it can be a single character, it can be an empty string, it can be collection of characters, etc. So yeah, means for example, to declare a string, what we use is the double inverted commas. So we can type here as anything. For example, web development bootcamp. Okay, so that's what a string is. And the other data type what we have is the number. So in JavaScript, we don't have a concept of int and float. Every number is a 64-bit floating point number. So for example, if the value 9 point something 4, and suppose the other value is somewhat 9, so this both have the same data type, that is number. Okay, so for example, if I try to console dot log type of the 9. Okay, if I try to print this, so what we got is the number data type. And if I try for the 9.4, that is a decimal number, so what we got is the number only. So yeah, that's one of the basic data type. So now what we have is the boolean. Boolean means we can store the true and false, only true and false only. So yeah, so basically this boolean data type is used to check the conditions and to validate something. So yeah, where we use boolean is for example in if conditions, or if it can be in for loop, it can be in while loop, it can be anywhere. So yeah, and the last primitive data type what we have is the undefined. Now this is new one. So this is assigned to variables which have not been initialized. Means for example, I have a variable here. So if the values, I don't have to initialize a variable number to it. I don't know the number, what number I have to store in it. So I can give it as undefined. Okay. So to declare variables, what we use is three keywords, that is var, let, and const. So previously what we were having was only uh, var, and later on in updated version what we have is the let and const also. So why we needed this means, as already we were having this var. So the thing is that variables declared with var are in the globally or function scope. Means for example, if I declare a variable here, suppose it would be a is equal to 0, or it will be as something in a block of scope. Okay. If I enter here as var and as initialize the value with 10, and if I enter this, and if I try to access this, variable, so what we are going to get is 10. Okay, so yeah, because what the thing is, it's a var, it's a global, it has global scope. But what the thing is, we cannot do this for each and everything. Means we want some variables that should have only the block of scope. It should not have a global scope. So yeah, because of this var, it can create a lot of confusions. We cannot create a new variable. If we create a new variable, it will override this variable. Okay, so yeah, this will create a lot of confusion. So for that, what we have is the let and const. So the both of the let and const have the block of scope. So what is the difference between both of them, as they both have the block scope? So the thing is, if I declare a variable here, let b, the variable name b is initialized with something like x6, and okay, so the other variable as c, that is initialized with 10. Okay, so if I try to increase the, okay, sorry, I have to declare a variable of const, sorry for that, const d is equal to 11 something, yeah. Okay, so if I have to increase the value of b, uh, so I can increase it as well. So yeah, what we got is here is the 7 value. So it, okay, so if I try to increase the value of uh, that is 11, so let's try it. So yeah, what we got is an error. This is a type error because assignment to constant variable. So we cannot change the value of constant. So yeah, that's what a constant is. So as a keyword name suggests, it is a constant. We cannot change the value. Okay. So there we would be requiring some variables which should not be changed. So yeah, there we can use const. So for a basic practice, or for a good practice, what we use is let and const only, because where we'll create a lot of confusion. We cannot remember all those globally scope variables. Okay, so yeah, what we have other is the non-primitive data type. It has the objects. Now there is one more non-primitive data type, that is array, but I'm not mentioned here because objects and arrays are treated as same only. Okay, means array can be called as objects only. For example, now what is an object? Let's see. Just a minute. Okay. So what is an object? Objects are variables too, but objects can contain many values. Objects values are written in name value pairs separated by colon. So as you can see here an example, that is a car object which has a number of name and value pairs, that is color black, manufacturer Ford, and the last one is the model, that is Vista. The value is Vista. So as you can see here, why object is needed? Because we can create a collection of name and value pairs. Okay, so we can have that. So these all are separated by name and value is separated by a colon, and the whole thing is separated by a comma here. Now what the thing is, array is considered as an object only, as stated earlier, only where the indices are the names of the variable of array. So for example, if I try to create an object here, first of all, let's create an object here, that is const car, which is something like this, and what I want is the color to be black, and what manufacturer, that is, let it be somewhat Tata, and the other one is the model name, which has the value, that is the Vista. So yeah, now if I enter this, so yeah, okay, now if I try to print this using console.log, okay, if I try to print this car object, so what we are going to get is, yeah, what we got is the object here, that is it has the name value pairs. Okay, so similarly, if I try to create something like array, so how to declare an array? So declare an array, the difference between the object and array declaration is that we use in object we use the curly braces, and in array we use the square braces. So to declare that, what we will do is const here array is equal to let it be as 5 comma 6 comma 7 comma 3. And yeah, now if I have to print this, I will use console.log here and I will try to print this. So yeah, what I got is the array. Now if I just click on this, so yeah, as you can see here, these are the same as object. It is a name value pair. So that is an indices as a name and value as a value here. So if I try to print the type of the array here, so console.log and type of array. Okay, that's right. So what we got is an object here. So yeah, as I stated earlier, arrays and object are considered as same, that is an object only. Okay, so let's first of all clear this console. Okay, just let me know if there you have something doubt till now, otherwise I can move ahead. If you are understanding everything, just enter the thumbs up emoji on the chat section. Okay, so I don't think so there is any response. Okay, no problem.
Yeah, there's a response from them. Actually, they have used reactions.
Okay, I'm not able to see that. Okay, no problem. Is there any question, Hritvikk?
No, not yet any questions.
Okay, no problem. So let's move to ahead. What we have is the loops and decision making statements. So in other programming languages, what we have is the if, switch, for, while, and do while loops. So similarly, what we have is the same in JavaScript. The syntax is almost pretty same like C++ and Java and JavaScript. So what we have is the condition statements in JavaScript are if and if else and the switch. Okay, so let's try with the if one. So if I try to do something like if okay, so I have to declare something as let, or what we call it as const. Okay, const variable that is something like condition equal to true. Okay, so this is of Boolean data type. So as you can see, what I've initialized the value is true to the variable condition. So now after declaring the variable, what I have to do is I have to check that condition, and if condition is true, then I want to print console.log, and yes, the condition is true. Okay, so let's try to run this. So yeah, what we got is yes, the condition is true. So yeah, this is how we execute the if condition. So to the basic syntax that what we have to use is if keyword and round braces. Inside the round braces, what we have is the expression to check whether the expression is correct or not. If the expression is correct, then we have to execute the code inside the curly braces. So that can be any statement or statement. Okay, yeah, that's what a basic syntax of if statement. So yeah, if we want to create an if and else ladder, so as you can see here, what we have is if else ladder, we can create lots of if and else conditions. For example, if I want else that, okay, and it will also have the statements, number of statements which should be followed. So yeah, this is a basic thing, and you can increase this. Now what the thing is, before going ahead in switch and all those things, now the operators in JavaScript are almost similar to C++ and Java, or C++ or Java. There are only two things that are extra in JavaScript, that is strictly equals, and the other one is the not strictly equals. Okay, so what the thing is, we can use here that for example, if I want to check whether the condition is equal to true or not. Okay, if I try to do this, console.log, yes, I just want to print yes. Okay, so there's an error here. What the error is? Condition is not defined. Okay, so the it was a typo mistake, so I have to do it as condition. Okay, if I try this, so yeah, what we got is the yes printed here. So now further, what the thing is, we can use as a not equal to as well here. But what the thing is, if I tried something like this, for example, if I tried something 9 is equal to 9, if 9 is equal to 9, then console.log, yes, they are equal. Okay, and else what we want to print is console.log no, they are not equal. Okay, so as you can see here, now what the thing is, I've compared the two different data types, that is, one is the string and the other one is the number. Now the thing is, if I try to execute this, let's try to execute this, yes, what we got is the yes, they are equal, but what the thing is, they are of different data types. So to avoid this, what we use is a strictly equal. So we want that the condition should be strictly true. Okay, so if I tried this, so what we got is the no, they are not equal. Okay, so this is a basic thing. Now similar to what we have is the not strictly not equal to. So instead of using the strictly instead of using not equal to, what we have to use is strictly not equal to. Okay, so yeah, this is the extra thing in JavaScript. So yeah, and one more thing, if I try something like this, if undefined, if any condition is undefined or any variable is undefined here, and if I try to console.log and I said not undefined, else console.log undefined. If I try this, so what we got is the undefined, because it's undefined. So if condition only checks whether the condition is true or not, it is not going to check whether the condition is undefined or false or whether it is null. So yeah, it is going to check only the condition is true or not. If the condition is true, then only I will follow this block of scope. Otherwise, I will follow the else block of scope. Okay, so yeah, that is one of the difference. So similarly way we can use this switch statement as well. So to use switch, what we have to give here is as expression, or what we have to use is value. So first of all, take it as const, and let's declare a variable here, that is so I cannot use var as variable name, I can use as let it be as something variable. So yeah, I can use that. Okay, if I initialized the variable to something like 5, or okay, let it be 2. And okay, so I want to use the switch. Now I have to include this variable in this round braces as a basic syntax, and then what I will have is the switch statement, and here I can include the cases. So for case 1, if the variable is equal to 1, so what you have to do is, what we want is to print the 1. Okay, and if the variable is equal to 2, then what we want to print is console.log, that is 2. Okay, and if the value is not 1 or any of the cases, then what we can use is the default statement here, and what I want is to print console.log none of the above. Okay, so let's try to execute this. So there's one mistake here. So if I try to execute here, so as you can see here, what I got is that it printed both the things, that is 2 and none of the above. Okay, but it was not supposed to be happen, because okay, so what happened was, first of all, it checked for the variable was checked by the case 1, that is the variable initialized by 1, so it is false, so it is not going to be printed. And next what we have is it will check for case 2. So it was true for case 2, so it printed the console.log, and then later on follow for default and printed the console.log none of the above. Now the thing is, to avoid this, what we use is here a break statement. Okay, so I have to use a break statement. Okay, just a minute. Okay, I have to use here is as break here. Okay, yeah, what we got is only 2 now. So this is how switch works in JavaScript, similar to other languages which has switch statements. Okay, now moving on to what we have is the loops in JavaScript. So basically there are 2 loops, and there is one more loop, that is do while loop. But we are going to look at only for and while. Do while loop is similar to while, but the difference is that do while is going to execute the code inside the curly braces at least one single time. Okay, so let's go for a for loop here. So first I have to so what the syntax of for loop is that I have to use a for keyword here and around braces, and inside that I want to first I have to initialize a variable here. So let it be as let I is equal to 0, I is less than. So further what we have to do is we have to provide a limit to the variable that I should be less than 10, or what we call it as a validation. And then further what we have is the updation, that is I plus plus. So I want to after each and every iteration I want to increase this variable by 1. Okay, now if I try this, so yeah, I want to print console.log, that is I. if I try to do this, so what I'm getting is all the numbers less than 10 printed on new lines. So that's what a for loop is. Okay. Now what the thing is, what we have is the while loop here as well. So we can have the same logic like a for loop, but what the thing is, for while loop, what I have to do is I have to initialize a variable explicitly. We cannot initialize the variable inside the syntax of a while loop. So there's no syntax for initialization of variable. So for that, what I'm going to do is declare a variable here as d is equal to 10. Okay. Okay. Now just a minute. Okay, what we have done is already taken the d, so let's do something else. I cannot do const, I can do is let j is equal to something 0. Okay, and if I now what I can do is use the while statement. So for that, what I used is the while keyword, and the other thing is that what we have is the condition, that is I should be less than 10. So yeah, what we have to provide is the only condition inside the round braces, and further the body of the while loop, while loop. So okay, what I have to do is console.log I, and now the one more thing is that in for loop syntax, what we have is to do is updation as per the syntax, but while loop does not provide any syntax for the updation. So explicitly we have to provide an updation. So we have to provide an updation here inside the body, so that it should increase the value of I after each and every iteration. Okay. So there's just a mistake. It should use J here. Use J here. Okay. So let's try to execute this. So yeah, similar to the for loop, what we got is the numbers here printed on new line. Okay. So let's clear it. So do while loop is similar to while loop, just we don't have to what we have to use is do while syntax, and it will run at least for one time. Okay. Whatever may be the condition. Okay. So yeah, that's it for of the loops and condition statements. So now next what we have is the functions in JavaScript. So now the thing is, functions are set of instructions bundled together to achieve outcome. Okay, in JavaScript, functions are also objects. Okay, so that is one of the important thing. They are also treated as objects. So just like any other objects variables, so can be any other object. So just like any other object functions can be stored in a variable. Okay, so this function can be stored in a variable as well. And the thing is, the JavaScript functions are defined with the function keyword. So as you can see here, what we have is the function keyword and the function name, and what we are passing is the parameters inside these round braces. Okay, and what we have is the body of the function, what has the bundle of statements, and at last what we have is the return statement. Now the thing is, declare functions are not executed immediately. So yeah, they are used, they are saved for later use and will get executed later when they are invoked or when they are called. Okay, so let's try to take an example here. For example, function, basic function, what we have is the add function here, and I want to pass two parameters here, num1. So these are the formal parameters, these are not the actual parameters. Num1, num2. Now, okay. So what I want is the console on console.log num1 plus num2. Now I've declared or defined the function, that is add function. Now what I can do is I can call the function using the function name and the round braces, and inside the round braces what I have to pass is the numbers that are, let it be 5, 8. If I tried it, so what we got is 13 as the output. Okay, so we have not used the return statement for this function, so we can and we cannot use the return statement. So if suppose I have to use the return statement here, so instead of console.log, okay, what I have to do is return. Add this and try to call the function. So now as you can see here, what it is showing is none, because we are not passed a parameter here. So if I passed a parameter 5, 6, so what we got is here is 11. Okay, this is not we have not executed it yet, but it is giving us a suggestion that what the result is going to be have. Now if I, before executing this, this is not going to print anything, it is going to only return the statement. Okay, if I try this, so what we got is the 11, the addition of 5 and 6. Okay, so as you can see here, what I stated here is that just like any other object, functions can be stored in a variable. So I can store this function in a variable. For example, what I have is the variable, suppose temporary variable, somewhat temporary variable. Okay, and I can store function add, and I can have the num1, num2. Okay, so first of all, let's use the subtraction. Okay, so we will use subtraction function, and yeah, so dot log, what we want is the return num2 minus num1. Okay, so like this, num1 minus num2. Okay, okay. So yeah, if I try to, now let's call the function. Now the thing is, I have declared or defined the function inside a variable, or I've initialized a variable with a function. So I cannot call the function by using this function name, that is sub sub. I cannot do that. If I try to do that, it will show me an error here. Yeah, so as you can see here, what it's showing me is an undefined. Okay, so yeah, that means if I try to pass here 6, okay, so what it is trying to show me is that it is undefined. So to call that function, what we have to use is the variable name. Okay, instead of this sub, what we are going to use is temp. So to call that function, what we are going to use is temp 5, 6. Okay, so what we got is the -1, the subtraction of 5 and 6. Okay, so yeah, this is the basic thing. So now why we are storing the function in a variable? So as you know that objects class in other languages, what we have is the class which has both the things, some parameters and some methods. So for that, what we can do is we can store function in any object. For example, I want to create an object here, that is const, let it be as math object, and I can have many functions here That is, first of all, I would like to have is the add. Okay, add. So one more thing is that to declare a function without using function keyword, this can be done by using this round braces uh, is equal to operator and the greater than operator and the basic code. So as you can see here, and if there are some parameters, then you have to pass here as parameters, and I can return num1 plus num2. Similarly, what I can have is the all the for methods that are subtraction, this similar thing, return num1 minus num2 to pass it here formal parameters num2. Okay, so this is an object here. What it has the to name variable name value pairs, and value are the functions. Okay, so to call that functions, what I have to use is math. I can pass here as double inverted commas add, and to use the round function. Okay, something error. Okay, so I have to use math. Okay, and if I try to do this, okay, so yeah, what we got is the 11 as the addition. Similar way, I can use the subtraction. So this is a way actually we can access these name and variables of the objects, values of the objects. So yeah, this is how we do that. Instead of add, what we have is subtraction. Okay. There's one more thing to access it, is that one dot subtract is, yeah, you can use a dot operator here as well. Dot sub. Okay, so okay, now one more thing. If I want that, I don't want to pass this parameters. Okay, so what I should do is I will declare I want two more num value pairs that are num1, okay, and the let it be as 5, and num2 6. Okay, these are the things. Now if I try to do this, okay, I was able to execute, but what the thing is, now I think it will show me an error here. Will show me an error here. Yeah, so num1 is not defined here. So to use this object parameters as a parameters, object values as parameters, so what we use is this operator or this keyword. So I have to use this here, this dot num1 plus pointer. This is treated as a pointer. So this dot num1, this dot num2. Now if I try to do this, okay, actually what the thing is, it has not overwritten the things, that's why it's showing me an okay, no problem. And now what we have is the moving ahead, what we have is the HTML DOM. Now what we learned till now was the JavaScript basic only. Now from this, what we are going to have interaction with the website. So this is, we can say that it is one of the interface, that is the HTML DOM. So what is an HTML DOM? First of all, when a web page is loaded, the browser creates a document object model of the page. So as you can see here, that is a document object model. So this is the whole document object model. Okay, inside it what has the document object, and inside As you can see here, it is a tree of objects. Okay, so tree of objects in the sense it has the children as HTML. HTML has the children's of head and body as well, and it has the sub children's title, h1 and the a tags. So yeah, this is what the document object model. So now the with the object model JavaScript can make the website dynamic as well. So you using this DOM manipulations, we can use or we can access any of these elements using JavaScript, and we can change the values as well. Okay, we can implement some functions on it. So yeah, the method of document helps us to change or modify any element of HTML and its style as well. Just give me 2 minutes as well here. Okay, so that's what the DOM manipulation is. So browser understands the DOM manipulation means browser has the document object which consists of the HTML object. So it's a nested objects. It has the nested objects. Okay. So to access any of this element, what we use is the two types of methods that are the query selector. This method returns the first element within the document that matches the specified selector or group of selectors. And the other one, what we have is the query selector all. This method returns the array of all elements with the document that matches the specified selector or group of selectors. Now, for example, query selector, if I try to query select this title, now there's only one title tag. So we are going to get this, we can access only this element. Okay. If suppose there would have some more h1 elements, so if I use the query selector method, then I will get the only first element of h1. Okay, and if I use the query selector all, then I will get the array of all the elements of the with the selector. Okay, so we will move on towards our website, that is portfolio, to implement this HTML DOM using JavaScript as well. So okay. Okay. What we will do is we'll open this in index.html and we will open this in with live server. So as you can see, what is in live server here. Okay. Now, if you want to try some things of HTML DOM, so for a try, what you can use is the browser console. So now what I'm going to use is the browser console here. Okay. Okay. Now, as I stated earlier, document is object. The whole web page is known as the document, and the it is treated as an object by a browser. Okay, so to access that, what I will do is document. Yeah, as you can see here, as I have typed here document, the whole web page is got selected. Okay, if I want to know that what is in this document. Okay, so if I try document dot children, so I will get all the children. So what it has is the collection, that is the HTML. So as you can see here, what we were having is the root element, that is the HTML. Okay, so inside that we can have the more children's. So if I want the 0, now it's an array, so I have to use the 0 index and dot children of the children of that HTML. So in HTML, what we have is the head and body. So I want to access now I want to see the head. So if I write or I want to see this the body. So yeah, what I'm going to get is the body element. Yeah. Okay. So this is where you can access this. But the thing is, you cannot access this means it's a tree, as it is a tree-like structure. So it would be difficult to access the elements like this. So for that, what we have is the query selector and query selector all. So actually what the thing is, before what we were having was different methods that are get element by ID. Okay, but now what we have is the only we have the updation, that is query selector. So we will use that. Okay, so query selector is a method of document object. So document dot, so what I want is the query selector, and so I want to pass here the name of the, so to access any of these elements, what I have to do is I have to pass the name of the tag name, or we can pass the name of the class name, or we can pass the name of the ID of the element. Okay, so to pass the name of the any tag, for example, I want to access the h1. I'm not sure. Okay, we don't have h1 tag here. What we have is the, I guess this is, okay, we will see what is the name of this. So this is a span, so I can, yeah, so as you can see here, what we got is the span element here, so I can access it. Okay, so this is where you can access it. If suppose I want to access any class name element using a class name, so what I have to use is the query selector, the selector operator, that is dot operator for class name. So it for class, for example, I don't know the class of this, for example. Okay, this, okay, so it has the home1 class name. The div has the home1 class name, so I will use this home1. Okay, just don't home, okay, /1. So yeah, what I got is the, I can access the div element that has the class name home1. If I want to access this, if I want to access the element which has the ID, so I'm not sure it has ID or what. Okay, we don't have one ID here, but to use ID, what, okay, we have ID, I guess. Yeah, what we have is the ID navbar. So we can access it using a hashtag selector operator, and we will navbar. So navbar only, it's showing you. Okay, there's something here, I guess. Okay, navbar. So yeah, what I got to access is, what I can access is navbar here. So this is how we can access the elements of the web page using this method query selector. Now if you want to change this, you can change anything. You can change the style of this, you can change the value of the any element, you can change the content of the element, and anything using this HTML tool. Okay, so if I want to change is the color, so let's try to change the color of this H span. Okay, dot style dot color is equal to, I will give it as blue. As you can see here, the color of this span is changed to blue. So this is how we can access these elements, and we can change the contents using JavaScript and HTML DOM. Now the thing is, there are many methods, there are many functions, like for example, I can do anything. For example, I want that background color is also supposed to be changed. want the background color to be white. So as you can see, I can do anything. I want the now I want the to change. I want to change this statement that is hello, I am a web developer. Okay, so for that, what I can do is what I have is the dot inner HTML is the what I want is the hello, I am a software developer. Okay, so if I try this, let's see. So what I got is the hello, I'm a software developer. Now the thing is, what I'm trying to run this whole JavaScript on this console. If I try to refresh this, okay, so yeah, as you can see, the changes are back to the original changes. So we cannot see the changes which I have done till yet now. Okay, so as you can see here, how the query selector is playing an important role in JavaScript. So using JavaScript, we can do many things. We can apply animations as well here. So there's one more thing, that is window dot, okay, instead of window, set timeout. Okay, now set timeout is the thing that if I want to set timeout is a function. Now in a function, what I have to pass is the parameters. As one of the parameter is function, so I have to pass the function here, console dot log any string, okay, s, and okay, and after that function, the second argument is the the time which we want to the time we have to state the time after which we have to print this console.log. Okay, now 1000 is a 1 second because this is treated as milliseconds. Now if I try, so for let's take it as 5005 seconds. Try this. So as you can see here, what we got is the s after the 5 seconds. So similarly, what we have is this set interval here. Set interval takes the same thing. It takes one argument as a function and the second argument as a time, that is in milliseconds. And if I try to do this, okay, so now as you can see here, after each and every 5 seconds, it is going to print the s character. So wait for 5 seconds, you will get, yeah, as you can see here, it is printing after each and every 5 seconds. So this is how we can create animations here as well. Okay, so means I can do anything. For example, if I want to change the color of this hello, I am a web developer after each and every second, so I can do that, okay, using this set timeout and set interval. Okay, so now what we are going to have is the now what we have implemented, those things are just for practice. Now what we are going to implement is the JavaScript and HTML DOM on this contact me section. Okay, so till now, if you have any question, then you can ask me right now. Hritvikk, are there any questions? Otherwise,
No, we have answered most of the questions in the chat box itself.
okay. So okay, now what we have is the contact me section here. So let's try to implement some of the things. We can make it as interactive for contact me section using this. Now what I've did is I've created one file here, that's index.js. Okay, so to implement JavaScript on HTML, what you can do is you can have a script tag here as well, script, and you can implement here as okay const. Yeah, so yeah, you can use this script as a well here. So but instead of that, what we are going to do is we are going to have a different JavaScript file which will contain all the dynamic dynamic functions and all those things. So, and yeah, so let's
There is a doubt.
okay.
Pranav asks if what is the difference between set timeout and set interval.
Okay. Okay, set timeout. If I use this set timeout and if I pass this function console.log, and I have to pass here as let's let it as 2 seconds. Okay. And okay, so wait for 2 seconds. So yeah, what we got is s, and now the function is stopped. Okay, we are not getting any further response. Okay, but if I use this interval, so interval means after each and every interval of the 2 seconds it will print the s character. So that is what a difference between set interval and set timeout. So as you can see here, okay, yeah, what I got is the s, I got the second s, I got this third s. So this will go on. Okay, after each and every 2 seconds it will invoke this function, it will call this function, and the function is going to print the s character. But in set timeout the function is going to be executed only once, that is after 2 seconds. So that is a bit difference between set timeout and set interval. I hope Pranav, you got it. Okay, so what we are going to have is the implement those things on index.js. So before that, what should we do is we should try to implement those stuffs in this. Okay, I have to just clear this. Okay, first of all, now as you can see here, what I have is the contact me section here. Now I want to access this document dot, what we have is the query selector, where is the query selector, and we will pass. Now these are the input fields. What we want is the access those things. Okay, now as you can see here, and now you can understand what is a query selector. Now as you can see here, there are 3 input fields in contact me section, but what I'm able to access through query selector is the only first one. So as because it is trying to search, it is giving me only first element, okay, of that tag name. Okay, so okay, if I use this, if I use a query selector all here, so as you can see here, what I'm getting is the array of the, as you can see, what I'm getting is the array of the elements. Okay, all the elements. Now what I want to do is I want to document dot query selector. Okay, query selector, and what I will do is input Now what the thing is, if I try to I want the name Kundav. So now I've filled this input field. Now I want to access those values. So to access those values, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use is the value. Okay, there's something.
There is typo Kundan, query spelling.
Yeah, okay. Just okay. It should be a query set. Okay. Yeah, as you can see, what we can access here is Kundav survey, the string which was entered in this input field. So to access all those things, you can use an array. So for that, what we use is the document dot query selector. Okay, now I can store these elements in a variable. So I want to store this input fields. Okay, I'm going to store this all the input, store this array of input stacks. So let it be as input. Yeah, now I've stored the all the elements as an array in this variable, that is a input field. Now I can now apply a for loop here. Now one more thing, to apply a for loop, you can use is let I of input field. Okay, now you can iterate this using this for keyword. And what I want to do is I dot value. So I want to print this console.log. So as you can see here, I got all the values of input fields. Okay. So okay, remember that you have to use this off. If you try to, if I try to use in here, so it is not going to give me the value. It is going to give me the name of the, that is undefined. Okay, it is giving me undefined because it does not have a name value here. So that's why. If I can use a similar way for object as well. So yeah, this is the way we can access this all this value of the input fields. Now okay, so I can now, the thing is I can access all these things, but what the thing is, I want to submit this thing. Okay, so what I can do is I will create an array here. Let an array to be, and what I would like to do is, okay, I will go through each and everything for let I is equal to, or let I input field. I do this. So what I'm supposed to do is I want that the data should be saved in this thing. Okay, if I try this, so to do that, what I'm going to do is okay, just a minute. Okay, so there's one mistake I guess. But to mention that, okay, so what we have is the one more function, that is the on click for this submit button. So what we can do is document dot query vector. We will store it as const button here, document dot query selector, and what we have is the button. Yes, that's a button only. Yeah. Now, now the thing is, I can use the function that is a button dot on click. So on click function is used to is invoked when I am going to click on this submit button. Whenever I'm going to click on the submit button, this the function inside this on click is going to be executed. So I have to provide a function here. So I can provide a function inside the parameters of on click. So what I want to do is console.log the what input. Okay, so I want to traverse the array. Okay, no problem. So yeah, I have to traverse the array. That was the let I in input field and I want that I want to print this things console.log what we have is the console.log inside it I dot value. Okay, so let's try to do. Okay, something. Okay, so sorry for that. Actually, it's not a function here. Okay, so yeah, it's not a function here, so I have to use the only. Okay, I have to use the is. So I have to provide a function here. If I try this, so yeah. Now let's try to click on submit here. I think there is something issue here. I'm not sure about it. Okay, so we will try it using VS Code here. So first of all, what the thing is to include or to connect or JavaScript, what we have to do is we have to include a script tag here. And I have to provide a source here that is index.js. Okay, now you can do a lot of steps here. So I will do is const. So that's the same thing. What I'm going to do is const input fields is equal to document what we have is a document dot query selector. Yeah, query selector. We will pass the name of the tag that is input. Okay, and what we have is the const input fields, and what we have is the other thing, the button that is document dot query selector and the input, not the input, it should be a button. Okay, yeah. So now what we want is that button should have a on click function here, not a function but okay. So button dot on click, what we have is the so what I want to do is console dot or for user data will just for I input field. For let I of input fields, what I have to do is I have to add this in an array. So I have to create a constant array here. That would be our data. Okay, user data, and we want that. So okay, so I want you instead of using a loop, we can use the directly the array as well. Fields of 0 dot value. Let's initialize to a variable that is const. Let it be as let your name, and further what we have is the let the email, and put the same thing but just the different index. And what I want the other thing is phone dot value. Okay, now oh, there's one more mistake here actually. Input field, it should be all. Okay, now after this what I have to do is I have to add this in a user data. So user data, there is a function for array that is push the object that is what we have the name, an object, email, and phone in an object. Okay, so okay, so if I let's try it. I think it should run well. Okay, it got saved, but I have not printed the thing. Okay, I have to print this thing, console.log user data. Okay, I'm not sure why it's not working, but yeah, this is how we do the things. I have to check the things. Okay, there are two buttons. I'm not sure about it. Okay, the problem is, yeah, okay, so there are two buttons. That's why we got confused. So what I have to do is I can do all, and instead of button, okay, input fields dot value, yeah, button, but we want the one person. So let's try one more time now. Okay, I will fill this input fields and I will click here submit. So as you can see here, the of the user has been saved, done. So usually what happens in a backend, so usually what we do is we call an API here using a fetch, or we can use Axios. So using this fetch statement or function, we can call API. So we can using this, we can save this user data inside of any database that can be of MongoDB Atlas, or it can be anything. It can be of SQL. So we don't have that much time, so we are not going to look over it. So basically, for example, what we have is the only array. What we are doing is just storing this value in this user.data array. So if I try to do this any times, can you just refresh this? Okay, there's something error. What? Okay, there's a fetch statement I forgot. Okay. Submitted. So yeah, if I submit it once more, so what I got is the array of two objects. They are same for now. Now the thing is, you can validate those things, that it should not match the values. The name should not be same, or the email should not be same. Okay, the one of the thing is email and phone number should not be same. You can have the same name, but you cannot have the email. So you can validate using if and else condition. So yeah, we are not going to go that much deep, but yeah, this is how we do. Now the thing is what I have to explain is one more thing, just a last thing, that what I've did is here is that I've used the script tag at the end of the body. Okay, so if I try to use this at the head in the head section, so what usually happens in HTML is that HTML tries to execute the code line by line. So what is going to happen is that as it is going to execute line by line, so JavaScript is going to be executed first before the this body thing, before this body. So what will create a confusion is that uh, there are two things. First of all, it will take much load because of JavaScript if we add a script here. And the second thing is that if we add a script here, then we cannot implement this HTML DOM because we are not executed this body element. Okay, so we can implement those things after the body element only. So after the execution only we want to run this script thing. Okay, so this is that's why I have used a script here. There's one more way to use a script in we can use it here as well in head section, but for that what I have to do is I have to provide a here that window dot onload. So yeah, I have to provide this windows dot onload so that after loading a web page, then only we have to execute this JavaScript code. Okay, but now for now we are not going to do that. Okay, so our basic website portfolio is ready. We are able to access those elements and we are able to store it in our user data. So okay, now what we are going to do is the last step, that is we are going to post it on our GitHub page. Okay. Okay, so one more thing that I forgot is before hosting that we have not gone through each and every topic of JavaScript, HTML or HTML. So we cannot go through because of time constraint. So for that we have is the W3 school. This is a reference website, so you can go through JavaScript as well here. So what you have is the JavaScript tutorials. You have the all the information of, you can go through each of the things. Basically you have the HTML DOM. So we don't have the only on click, we have the on event, we have the many types of functions that we can play on any type of tag. So we cannot go through all of those. So I'm going to, so we will be providing this you, or you can simply type on a Google W3 school, you will get that. Now let's try to host it. So before hosting, what I have to do is I have to create a new repo here. Okay, so I will give a name here, web development boot. Okay, yeah. Okay, now you can add you can make a public and private. You can add a description here, and you can add as well as a readme file as well. Okay, so what we are going to do is create a repository. Okay, as you can see here, if you have a Git installed in your local PC, you can follow these commands. You can directly copy paste this both of these commands to push the code inside in the GitHub. Or one more method which I'm going to show you now is that you can do it as uploading an existing. You can click on this uploading an existing file. So as you can see here, what we have is the drag and drop option. Okay, so what we can do is we can directly okay, so I've done that. I have to add a commit here. Hosting the portfolio. Okay, so I will commit the changes. So as you can see here, what we have is we have all the files which were required for the hosting. Now one more thing, to host, before hosting the website or static website on our GitHub, uh, what should we have is that we should have a file that is a home page of index.html only. The name of the HTML file, the main HTML file should be index.html only, because by default the GitHub is trying to host this main that is a index.html. Okay, so you have to name it as index.html. So remember that. And one more thing, that index.html should not be any of the folder. It should not be in CSS or images or any of the folder. It should be outside the folder. It should be visible directly if we open the repository. Okay, so this is a repository. After opening this repository, what we should see is the index.html. So yeah, keep this in mind, that two steps, that the name of the main HTML should be index.html and it should not be in any of the folder. It should be outside the folder. Now let's try to host this website. I will go to settings, and what we have here is the pages option. We'll click on it. Okay, so now as you can see here, GitHub Pages is designed to host personal organization or project pages from a GitHub repository. So you can do that. And one more thing, that the repository should be a public. You cannot host the website until and unless it's a public. It should be a public. It should not be a private. Okay. And so yeah, and what we have to do is just provide a path here, that is main and the root. And after clicking on this save, what we are going to get is the link with. Okay, so yeah, as you can see here, your site is ready to be published. Okay, if I click on this, okay, I'm not sure why it's okay. It's something here. Yeah, as you can see. So yeah, we have to wait for 2-3 seconds until unless you cannot get the exact website. So as you can see here, I can do anything. I can have Control Shift I. Okay, after clicking this submit, yeah, the website is running file. Yeah, we are getting the data. So that's it. Hritvikk, I'm done with my
Kundan,
with
can
my
you share that link?
yeah, okay.
Yeah, great, Kundan. That was very well explained. Congratulations, guys. Our website is now totally complete and we can send its link to anyone who wants to view it. So I believe now everyone has learned the basics of web development, that is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And you all can develop your own portfolio websites. And after hosting on GitHub Pages, which is of course for free, you can show it to your family members and friends. And also you can give a boost to your profiles after including it in your resumes. Now let's have a Kahoot quiz based on the JavaScript basics. And after the quiz, we'll let you know the details and rule of the web dev heist. Pari, can we have the quiz now?
Hi everyone, my name is Pari and I'm back with the Kahoot quiz. As you all know that the first place holder yesterday have got the awesome UI UX design books by Rosenfeld, ebooks, yeah. So I guess that you all are tired after doing so much of work. So let's have a small activity before getting started with the quiz. So I'll be sharing my screen and showing you a GIF. You'll just have to caption it, and it's expected that you give wrong answers only. So here we go. Is my screen visible?
Yeah, it's visible.
So when does this happen? Like the GIF that's been played, when does this happen with you? Come on, guys, spam the chat box. Assignments, yeah. Bugs. Also trying to catch up during the boot camp. You'll have to type faster. Surprise test. When your code runs fine today and doesn't run next day. Yeah, true. Exam. When we don't get expected output. That's right. When the deadlines is near. A minute before submitting your test. Yeah. When we get error. Frustrated dev. Okay. So I think that was enough. And now it's time to get started with the quiz. As you all know the basics of Kahoot, start joining in, guys. The game pin is on the screen. You are only 8 questions away from getting the awesome UI UX ebooks, and they are really very good. So don't miss this golden opportunity. Please enter your full name. Forty people. Are we good to begin? Or we should wait for 2 minutes?
Let's wait.
Okay. Guys, ask your friends to join.
Let's start, Pari.
Yeah, okay. So let's get started. JavaScript. The first question is JavaScript can be used for option A, only client-side server. Option B, client-side server, development as well as development-side server. Option C, only development-side server side. And option D, none of the above. 35, 36. Try to answer as fast as you can so that you get more points. And the correct answer is B, and 35 of them have given it right. Let's have a look at the scoreboard. We have Vabi at the top with 929, then Anup, Jayesh, Git returns, and Abhishek. Let's move towards the next question. Inside which HTML element do we put the JavaScript? Option A, scripting, option B, JavaScript, option C, JS, and option D, script. And here you go. The right answer is option D, script. 32 of them have given it right. And Anup climbing up with 1859 points, then Gitu, then Vabi, Saili, and Mitali. Sohan is the highest climber. Let's have a look at the next question. What is the correct JavaScript syntax to access the content of the HTML element below? You can see the image. Try to give the correct answer. Okay, D. Don't take long to answer, guys. You have to answer fast so that you get more marks, more points. And the correct answer is option C. 7 of them have given it right and majority of them have given it wrong. That's option A. Let's have a look at the scoreboard. We have Vabi climbing up to first, followed by Kittu, Anup, Mitali, and then Gurveer. And Masira is the highest climber. She's climbed up to 16 places. Here's the fourth question of 8. Have a look at the question and also the options. The correct option for this is option B. 6 of them are right, and the majority 17 are wrong. The scoreboard having Masira on top, followed by Vabi, then Git returns, then Gitu and Anup. It was a tough round. 5 players lost their answer streak of 3. This is a true or false question. Array is not an object. Okay. The option is false. 24 of them are right. We have Vabi on the first position, followed by Kittu, Git returns, Anup, and Mitali. Here's the sixth question, guys. Keyword used to define a function in JavaScript is option A, def, def, option B, func, func, option C, function, and option D, none of the above. And the right option is option C, function, and 27 of you are right. We have Vabi maintaining the first position, followed by Kittu, then Anup, Mitali, and Saili. Pranav is the highest climber. Here's the second last question. Which of the keywords are used to declare for global scope? Option A, let. Option B, var. Option C, const. And option D, all of the above. The correct answer is option C, const, and 3 of them are right. Majority of you are wrong. Here's the scoreboard. Hello, am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah, so here's the scoreboard having Vabi at the first position, followed by Kittu, Anoop, Mitali, and Saili. Abhishek is the highest climber up to 14 places. Next is the last question of Kahoot, and I hope that you all are ready for it. Here's the 8th question. Which type of language is JavaScript? Option A, programming. Option B, scripting. Option C, markup. Or option D, none of the above. And the right option is option B, scripting. Here are the results. We have Mitali on 3rd position. We have Kittu on 2nd position. And congratulations to Vabi, who's on the 1st position. The runner-ups are Saili and Abhishek. I request Vabi to send email ID on our Instagram handle. Also, I would like to inform you that if anyone is interested to get the UI UX ebooks for 20% off, they can feel free to send message to us and we will give you the access code to it. Thank you guys. Congratulations. Hritvikk, we're good to go.
Yeah. Great performance on the quiz, guys, and kudos to all the winners. So now let's move to the part you all are most excited about. That is, you'll get to know the rules and details of the web dev heist, which is a 2-day long hackathon organized by Google Dsc Mescoe. Vaibhav, over to you.
Yes. The screen is visible?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay. Hello everyone. After this amazing bootcamp, I know you all are excited about the hackathon, the web dev heist organized by Gdsc Mescoe. Now I'll quickly walk you through the hackathon. Next slide, please. So the participants have to create their own portfolio website. Is next slide visible to you all? Okay, yeah. The registration have been started and will end at 11:59 today. So make sure you guys register. The hackathon will start from tomorrow at 12 a.m. in the midnight. The participant will get 48 hours for completing their project. So make sure you submit the project before 11:59 on 14 September. The result will be out on 17 September. It is going to be a Discord event, so do join us there too. Now I'll briefly walk you through the hackathon rules. Next slide, please, Kundav. Is next slide visible? I'm still on the previous slide. So.
No, it hasn't changed yet.
Kundav?
The rules, no?
Yeah,
Yes.
the rules. Yeah, okay. So the participants are only allowed to use HTML, CSS, JavaScript. No external frameworks like Bootstrap, Tailwind CSS, etc. Excluding navbar homepage and contact page, participants shall include at least 2 more sections. So your project should have 5 sections with navbar homepage and contact page compulsory. The 2 more sections can be your skills, achievements, certification, etc. Participants should host their portfolio on GitHub Pages as Kundan taught us earlier. And they have to share that hosted link and the repository link, which should be public during the judging round. You can keep it as private before that. there are some more rules which we have posted on the WhatsApp group and Discord server. So make sure you go through those rules before hopping onto your projects. And I believe that everyone should participate, because the moment you participate, you're one step closer to win. So all the best, guys. Thank you.
Great, great, Vaibhav. So, guys, I'm sure you all are excited about the web dev heist. Before the Q&A section, let's take a quick photo session also. I request all the attendees and also the core team to turn on their cameras. All attendees kindly turn on your cameras. Tanvi, let me know when the photo has been taken.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. So now if you guys have any doubts related to the hackathon or the topics we covered today, you may ask us right now in the chat box, or you can even unmute yourselves.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just wanted to ask that is it okay if it's not responsive, right?
It will add a plus point to your website if it's responsive.
Okay, so we can use any media query type of thing to make it responsive.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay, thank you.
And also it can be multi-pages. That's not limited to single page only.
Okay, great.
Hello.
Yes,
Yeah.
Param.
Yeah.
Uh, so as you said that we have to add the certificates, means we can add certificates and other any two what we want like sections in the web page. So
Yeah.
can we make another tabs for it, like on the navigation bar?
It's like you have to create a multi-page website. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can create that. That totally minimum 5 sessions should be there.
Means for the okay, okay,
Yeah, so if you create tabs, it would be nice.
okay. Thank you.
Anup Kumar has asked something. What is the use of using JavaScript? We are not having any backend, so we should just add the data collection array. So it's your choice what whether it should be used or not. But I will miss it will be impactful if you use JavaScript so that it can be user interactive. But means for example, if I click on any button, there should be anything performed at the backend level as well or front end level as well.
Like for an example, if you click a submit button, you can place a alert. or manipulate a DOM that thank you for submitting your response and all.
So you want me to give it that?
No, I was just giving an example of JavaScript.
Yeah, as Karan mentioned, you can mention the validation and manipulation. So yeah, it would be better for me. So I guess that's it. There are no more further questions, I guess.
All right, so guys, even if you have any further questions, you can ping us on Discord and we'll answer them as soon as possible.
And also I would like to mention that it is a solo hackathon, so the participant have to participate it is a solo hackathon, means a single person should participate, no need of team and all.
Okay, so I hope you all enjoyed as well as learned a lot throughout this web development bootcamp. I highly encourage you to register for the hackathon to challenge your skills as well as review the contents you have learned in this bootcamp. But most importantly, I think the reason you should take part is to experience the joy of coding and also make a great portfolio website to boost your resumes. Best of luck, fellow developers. See you in our next sessions.